So this has been, the initial application, I believe, was about a year or so ago in terms of the application. And in the proposed findings of fact and conclusions of law, I set forth, what's occurred, the number of hearings, and what they're requesting, and so forth. But I've also concerned about some of the things that go on in the future if this development goes through. So I've placed in the findings of fact and conclusions that if there's any dust and so forth, that the applicant, meaning the developer, I guess, Murat or whoever, will have to take certain measures to prevent the dust, which I guess the one gentleman was concerned about in his place. There also would be a provision saying basically that if there's any traffic going up and down the road, that basically that there's going to be a study done before it begins with TJ and with the developer, the applicant, concerning condition of the road. We're talking about the roads from Patterson up into the development itself. We'd want to have some type of report performed by both the township engineer and by the applicant before the whole process begins. And I think I placed a provision saying basically that every month or so there'd be a review of that record, a review of those roads to see what's going on, and if there's any damages, repairs would have to be made. Also concerning the Boyka plan, the road going to Boyka plan, that would never be taken over by the township in terms of an emergency access road. That would be something that, we're not going to ever be involved with. I also put inside the proposed findings of fact that the applicant has agreed to install a gate for the access road with a locking system to be installed to the reasonable satisfaction of the township engineer. We want something there that if TJ could look at it or whoever, that the gate system would be installed, and that basically something would be there to protect the interest of the working plan owners, plus the interest of the people inside the Tuscany development itself. Also, that during the construction, that any cleanup that the applicant and or the contractors would be responsible for any cleanup, because I don't think I want the road system to be there filled with sediment, filled with mud, because these people live there. They don't need to be inopportune by that whole situation. I also put in the document basically that there will be a traffic plan that be developed with the township so that minimize impact on the current residents up there. I don't want them to be, I've heard people tell me they're concerned with the kids up there and so forth. So anything that we do here during school, I think that construction vehicles should be limited. Kids out there, you don't want to get run over, and I've seen things happen in the past. Okay, also any expenses incurred, I guess we're concerned about the bottom of the hill on Patterson Road. We talked about having some type of stop signs installed at both sides of Patterson Road as it intersects with this development road. So there'll be stop signs. The cost to install that will be the responsibility of the applicant. Applicant's going to have to comply with all the conditions of the township zoning ordinance. And basically, if they don't comply, that's going to be considered a material breach. They'll have to apply for heavy hauling permits if they decide they're bringing trucks, whatever that might damage the road. They'll have to have a heavy hauling agreement, have the appropriate bond. Also, I didn't want the people in the community to have a problem during construction phase. I know that years ago, when my next door neighbor decided to build his house or put an extension on, they were doing construction work at 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturdays and Sundays. So what I placed in here that the board, I guess, is also going to consider is that any construction of the proposed development should only occur Monday through Saturday, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. We don't need people up there at 10 o'clock at night doing construction.
Mr. Tritchler would love that.
That's what I did mine. I had a work
Yeah, if
all
only
day.
he had that.
Also, there should be no construction of the proposed development on Sundays and holidays. The holidays will be New Year's Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day. And again, those are special days for people, and I think the developer has already agreed that they won't do that. They'll provide us with copies of all state and federal permits. They'll coordinate their heavy truck traffic with the township and Ringgold School District. They said before, we don't need to have kids getting hurt, and I think you guys understand that. And I said before, this is on paragraph 19 of page 6. The applicant shall be responsible for any additional damage to the wearing of the current road system in the Tuscany Estates development. The township and the applicant shall review the current road system and author reports regarding the condition prior to any construction therein. The township engineer and the applicant shall meet on a monthly basis, review the condition of the current road system. If the township determines that the applicant's construction vehicles cause additional damage, the township shall notify the applicant, whereupon the township and applicant shall schedule a meeting within 5 calendar days on the township's written notification. If the township believes the applicant has caused additional damage to said road system, then the applicant shall take immediate steps to repair the same. Otherwise, the township may do the work and deduct from the escrow said repair costs. That's to make sure that these people that have lived in, I guess, pain for the last so many years won't have to put up with more pain. Any lighting, I mean, I had someone the other day complaining about lighting, so that's another thing. The lighting's gonna have to be, I don't know when you have lighting during the evenings on this, but any lighting is gonna have to be situated so it doesn't, inopportune people living there. You have to comply with all the terms and conditions of the conditional use. Stormwater facilities are also discussed in here. They'll be responsible for reasonable township fees and costs in connection with conditional use application. It's my understanding, TJ, that pursuant to the traffic impact study, there's no need for an HOP or anything with the state entering onto, what is that, Finneyville Rainbow Road?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Also, they asked for if you look on page 3 in paragraph 6, as part of the initial application, I believe they asked for 3 approvals. I guess this is stuff that's talks about horizontal curves for local streets shall be a minimum of 200 feet. They're asking for a modification. They're asking modification for length of the cul-de-sacs, and also asking for modification of the existing slopes. I believe at the township public hearings, I heard no one objecting to that. So basically, provided in paragraph 28, those things would be approved, but anything in addition to that, basically, they would have to come back and ask for a waiver, or come back and ask for additional approvals. Do you guys understand that? Okay? So I try to figure as much as possible to protect the people in the development, with dust, with noise, with dirt, with construction, with everything. So I've sent it over to Mr. Mahook, is that how do you say his name? Mihook. I sent it to Mr. Mihook. He only had one modification. He said everything else is fine. TJ, you looked it over. You have no objection to it?
Correct.
So basically, this, in part of the adoption of this agreement, we'll get the 2 exhibits, which are not on this one, but will be the tripartite agreement, and also there's a letter from the township's emergency service people that talk about the approval or the need for that additional access, which will be in Exhibit B. Any questions from the Board of Supervisors at this time?
Is that document from our emergency management coordinator?
Mr. Lawrence?
He said something of Mr. Lawrence, as far as the paving of that emergency access road, or is that?
Well, that
just
emergency
accepted?
access road is gonna be whatever the town, if I'm correct, it's basically up to the township to determine how it's to be done.
The request from the emergency management coordinator is paid for the
Right.
purpose of the trucks getting up, and if it would have to be plowed by our road crew, if it was a winter time event. They
But-
requested paid.
Does that need to be included in this?
I believe it's included in there.
Is it?
It was definitely in his letter or in his request.
If you want, I mean, I thought I put it in here, but if not, I can,
I didn't see it, Dennis, I didn't know about till Michelle said something we couldn't.
you put so much together, so much in here.
Yeah,
Your emergency management coordinator requested to be. He also said it will be a lovely addition to the development, cause they can make it a bike path and different stuff that, you know, when it's not being used for emergency, that it could be an asset.
if it's not there, I can add that to the piece. I thought I put it in there, but
I don't know, I didn't see it, Dennis,
here's what it says, this
but I
is,
just got it before the meeting.
well, and again, there's a couple things I have to change, because when I was dictating this today, basically, Jennifer should have had additional paragraphs, she merged about 3 different paragraphs into one, I don't know why. But in paragraph 15 on page 4, the construction emergency access road shall be done to reasonable satisfaction of the township engineer. The applicant, that's where I said, I don't know what it takes to build a road, but I added there, that section, it's up to the township's reasonable satisfaction of how it's constructed.
So, that'll be,
Does that make sense to you, TJ?
It does, yeah. I
I
would
didn't
agree with
bother
the
the roads.
emergency management coordinator's recommendation, though. The access road should be paved. When it's not paved other places, it's gonna wash out quickly and be problematic, so.
And that's the same thing I have that same or similar problem.
this is the weight of their vehicles, they need it paid.
I had the same or similar problem with Burkett Manor at South Street. We have emergency access is an issue with it, so,
You don't want firemen bouncing out of the truck.
but everything, the construction is done to his reasonable satisfaction. Sir, you wanna say something, or question?
I was just gonna say, Miranda is agreeable to whatever the township wants for pavement of the emergency access road.
But should that be stated in the document?
What it does, it says you have to do it to our satisfaction, so.
I can, if you want, I can, it'll be paid to the reasonable satisfaction of the township
Yeah,
engineer.
Miranda's agreeable
I'll
to
add that
that,
to it then.
for the record.
I don't know why we just don't write it down and put it in a damn document, for goodness sakes.
It is in the,
We put it in now, but we voted on
Well-
that.
it says that it will be paid to the township
Okay, fine.
satisfaction.
So I'll add one word. Okay?
Did you have any comments, Suzanne? So the only comment I have, so we've addressed some of the concerns that we heard from the Tuscany Estates residents. As far as the Boyka Plan residents and their concerns that they were voicing at the meeting, or the hearings that we were having. Does this master plan now put to bed the fact that there'll ever be a township road connected to the Boyka Plan?
Well, there's a number of problems. First of all, that plan has been, they've never taken over that township road for a period of years. And if I'm correct, if you don't take it over for a period of years, then basically there's any right to open that road up. Anyway, I think we could open up when we go through eminent domain to take that road over. And I would not suggest it.
I'm just saying, as far as their plan is not to come through the Boyka Plan. And so those paper alleys or whatever, after this many years, so they're not asking us for anything attached to the Boyka Plan, nor is this an access road that is not township standard for a roadway, so it won't, it's not a foot in the door to be a township road
Right.
later on, because in no way
Can't.
meets.
You can't. Now, there's
So-
also provision that talks about that.
So by their master plan being this versus the other master plan that
Does that null and void the original master plan?
That's
The
why
plan?
We can't know.
the original Bruce's old
Yeah. The
plan
Quaker
of having
plan.
those 3 roads in there.
We know, I mean, no gating Tuscany's original plan?
He
Or
wants
what?
to know if this plan of these current developers will then, by taking this plan over, will that negate any of Bruce's plans for the roads into the.
Plans, agreements,
What
whatever.
is- This plan takes
That's
precedence.
what we're asking you. So this
Okay.
plan takes precedence. Now, it will, after 20-something years of people in Boyka
Right,
can
it's
rest
simply
that there's
that.
not gonna be a road going through the Boyka plan other than that, for just the access.
Okay, any other questions? Yeah.
The tripartite agreement that was signed by all the parties remains in effect.
Yes,
It goes in effect, as I recall, 1 year after this is all signed.
my
After
understanding.
it's eight months, I believe, 9 months. 9 months after they purchased, then it's still in.
Correct.
Just to bring up, he said, I heard it from his own mouth, about the construction vehicles going in there and school kids waiting for school buses. What about this road with the school kids and the school buses and
Very
these
tough
trucks?
on the state.
And on that note, I'm leaving, but think of that, because you got that freaking trucks barreling around that bend, and that school bus stops right in the middle of that hill.
Just so, I understand, but just so you keep in mind, we have very little control.
No, just to keep in mind, you have school kids on this road too, they're just as important as the new plan over there. keep that in mind.
Okay,
Good night.
So the tripartite agreement stays in effect,
it stays in effect.
okay, and, so anything that is not done within 1 year, if I recall correctly, the township has certain rights to go in.
The rights are all, whatever's in the agreement is specified in there, and that's what we're bound by. She just died? All right, any other questions, concerns about the proposed findings of fact and conclusions of law?
Did you have any questions on the?
So we have to make a motion to either accept or not to accept.
Okay, so everybody's had a chance to ask their questions. So back to my agenda. Does anyone wish to make a motion to approve the conditional use request of Miranda Homes for the project known as Tuscany Estates?
With the amendment as to
With the amendment,
pave road, and again, there's a couple of typos here I have to correct.
amendment as to the emergency access being paved, the word paved being added into the.
I will make a motion.
Dawn made the motion,
I'll second
Carl second. All in favor?
Aye.
it. Aye.
Okay.